Hello, welcome to today's video. Today is going to be another energy healing session in the forest, and today we're going to be doing the intention that this energy healing can be for those of us who see ourselves as empaths. Okay, so before I get into the energy healing, I'll show you what tools I have prepared for us today. I have this essential oil spray, which is very good for protection. It's very good for feeling fresh in your being, feeling confident. And that's what today's going to be about. It's going to be about understanding our role as empaths in this world and using our courage, what I like to call my cat courage, and transforming any cowardice we may feel in the world at being extra, because we're empaths, we feel extra sensitive. We're going to transduce that into confidence, into clarity, into courage. Okay, so first I'm going to spray this area because it's also going to be protection from the mosquitoes. Okay, so I'm going to spray. And then I'll show you my second tool. So I'm just going to spray a little bit over you. The second tool is a couple of leaf rattles that I found in the forest. And I had the idea to use a leaf rattle when I was coming out of my last video last week, energy healing for the unconscious. And when I was coming out of the forest, I found one of these types of leaf rattles, and it was red and orange, and I tried to find it but it wasn't here. So we have a maple leaf rattle and we have an oak leaf rattle, and it's got quite a few holes in there. So when we do the energy healing, this is what I'm going to be using with you. So the second half of this video is going to be a relaxation session, an ASMR session. The first part of today's video is going to be about understanding our role as empaths. Okay, so the first thing I want you to know about being an empath is that we are something called transducers. And what this means is we, as an empath, as a highly sensitive person, carry a very strong resonance, okay? And if you're anything like me, growing up, that felt like this strong energy that I felt like I had as a kid. It got depleted over the years, and I started to feel that I was the complete opposite of confident. I was the complete opposite of empowered. And that's because, as a transducer, as someone that is very, has a very, very strong energy about them. And what I mean by strong, okay, what I mean by being a transducer is that as an empath, you have the capacity to affect people on a very deep level. Okay, this is something that it's taken me a long time to figure out. But if you put yourself in your remembrance body now, think back to all the times where you've had social situations with people and how much you seem to affect the room, whether it was in your lack of confidence and fear, or whether it was in your lightness and brightness. As an empath, you have this amazing capacity to be what would be classed by Natasha Chi, who's talked on this subject at length. So I would suggest going and taking a look at her podcast, because she's really inspired me to do this talk with you about empaths today. She discusses that with an empath, you're like a big pendulum in the room, And as we know, pendulums, they can swing from side to side, but if you put a load of pendulums in one room, they eventually all start to swing in unison. Okay, and you are that big pendulum in the middle. As an empath, you're a big pendulum in the middle of a room, and you can get everyone else in the room to sway with you. It means that as an empath, your superpower is that you can feel everything. You can feel what everyone else is feeling in the room. You can feel what is going on with the energy in the room. And this means that you can't lie. You can't deceive yourself. And if you try, it's very uncomfortable and you can't get very far with it. So we have this very grandiose mission here on earth, and that is to be a transducer. So what I wanted to hone in for you right now is that you may have grown up, you may have the first few years of your childhood, if you're anything like me, may have been great. You may have been confident, gregarious, courageous. I was, right? And what happened is that back in those days, when I was young, 5, 6, 7, 8, I didn't know that I was different from other people. I didn't know that other people didn't feel everything like I did. I didn't know that I was sensitive. Okay? And then what came about is teenage years and the realization that I was different. The realization that other people didn't feel everything in the same way that I did. And that's where you start to differentiate yourself. You start to look at other people and think, wait, why aren't they like me? Why aren't I like them? But I want to hone in with you today why it's actually a superpower to be an empath in this chaotic world. Okay, because you get to be this transducer. Okay, after this empowerment energy session, healing session with me today, I want you to be able to come away feeling as though you can be that transducer in any given situation that you want to be, that you're going to find yourself in. And what that looks like is you walking into a room with people, and let's say the conversation, the topic is feels uncomfortable to you. The conversation that the people in the room may be having feels uncomfortable. It feels awkward. It feels heavy. Yeah. As an empath, you're not going to go in there and start talking about something that makes you uncomfortable. No. Instead, what you're going to do is you're going to hold space for these people. You're going to hold space for the energy to work itself out. You get to become this pendulum, this transducer who holds resonance. Okay, that's all you have to do. You have to hold resonance. You have to hold yourself in empowerment, and you'll notice that the topic changes. And you'll notice that people want to talk about things that feel good. And that doesn't mean that we always talk about things that feel good. We have to talk about things that are real, authentic, and true. Those are often our shadow fears, our shadow emotions, our the things that we don't like to talk about. Those are the things that we should talk about. The things we shouldn't talk about are the things that just don't help us to heal. Don't help us to know more of ourselves, and just make us more hateful towards the world. And that's the sort of topic that I'm talking about, where you walk into a room and you feel uncomfortable because the topic is just so heavy, and your higher self, some part of you knows that this is not the sort of conversation you want to have. And you, my friend, get to have enough courage to say, I don't want to take part in that, but I'm going to hold resonance. I'm going to be a transducer. And what a transducer does is it takes this energy, it takes this resonance, and it transforms it and creates something that is higher vibrating, that is holding space for, in the very least, neutrality. But it can hold space and gain momentum. You get to gain momentum and feel this power that it is to be an empath. Okay, because you have some amazing superpowers, and I want you to know about this, because we need to stop with the feeling like we're a burden. when you stop with the feelings that as an empath, we don't belong here, because if it wasn't for your presence here on this planet, it would look very different. The world would be very different, because you have an innate capacity to tap into Mother Earth and what she needs, because you're so sensitive. Not many people have that, okay? And that's what they're developing, and that's why it's a gift. It's a gift to be an empath. So, as I was saying before, when you think back to your childhood, yeah, think about all those times that people were mean to you. People would say things to you, and you would just think, where did that come from? What did I do? Yeah. Can you think of a time like that? I know I kind of got so many. And, you know, I've thought back to these situations. I've thought, God, why was I so weird? Why was I so different from these people? For them to say these things to me. Like, sure, clearly, I must have been different. I must have had something wrong with me for them to say that to me and be mean to me. I just want to tell you that that is not the case. The thing is that you've been sensitive your whole life, for the most part, okay? As empaths, that's pretty much what we're born with it, right? There's something about your presence and your energy that is meant to bring the shadow of some people to the forefront, right? Because what you do is you mix up the energies, okay? And what's happening when people be mean to you out of nowhere is that they're taking it out on you. But really, what they're doing is unconsciously asking for your help. So, when you think back to a situation where someone was mean to you unduly, and you took that on and you thought it was a problem with you, we have to re-erase that. We have to let go of that. It's not the truth. The truth is that there's something about you and your energy that stirs things up. Okay? And sometimes you may bring out the worst in people, but it's not. It's actually for the good, and it's not necessarily your fault. It's your superpower. Yeah? And now that we're becoming empowered empaths and no longer these beaten down empaths, we get to be able to say, that's yours, not mine. If you feel the need to say something rude or horrible to me, that's yours, not mine. Okay, so I just wanted to revelate that to you, because it was revelated to me by Natasha Chi, and I just thought, wow, you're on bing, bing, bing. Thank you for saying that, because I spent the last 10 years of my life trying to figure out why things were so shit for me in childhood. And people were able to say these things to me that I just thought, wait, I would never say that to someone. And there's something to do with you and your energy and how it stirs things up, okay? So this stirring of energy, do you want to know what you're doing with it? You're paving the way, my dears. You're paving the way for all of us that are yet to come into this world, all of the people that are going to come into this world that are highly sensitive, because that is what the earth is calling for right now. She's calling for people who are sensitive, who can feel what's going on, who are integral, honest, and authentic. Okay? With you doing this good work, yes, it may hurt that maybe you didn't get this opportunity when you were young. You didn't know that you had empathic abilities. You didn't have anyone there for you. You didn't have support. Okay? If you still feel some pain with this, then I recommend that you do a meditation for inner child healing. I did one recently, and what happened is that I saw myself kind of go into my angel body, if you will. And what I saw is that there's things that's happened to you, to me, that have been difficult. But instead of stewing in that pain, I can be a transducer. I can transform it and actually do what I would have wanted for my younger self. I can be the person that paves the way for others to walk this path of being an empath. And that's when you get your angel wings. You get to fly. You get to see what it's all about, to love more instead of hate more against the world. Recently we watched an animal documentary, and it really inspired me, because there was this lioness. It's actually called Lion King. You can find it on YouTube. It's a Lion King documentary. I'll premise this with saying that it should have been called Lion Queen, because it was all about a female lioness and how she took care of her cubs after her king died. And what happened is the cubs that stayed alive were the ones that knew. They knew to stay close to their mother. They knew that in order for them to survive this place, they had to learn from their mothers first. Well, unfortunately, we were the cubs. Some of us were the cubs that didn't get to necessarily learn from anyone or get that support, and it was very difficult. And we then had to learn how to know when to cross the river and when not to. These lion cubs, they're following their mum, and they have to cross a river all of a sudden. And what this means is that they could get eaten by a crocodile. The first two cubs follow the mother, and they're okay. The third cub hesitates and tries to think it over and spends so much time worrying about it and thinking about it that when he does finally cross, crocodile gets a hold of him. And it seems unfair, but we know that that's how this place works. It seems unfair that we didn't get the chance in our younger years to be the courageous, authentic lion cub that gets to cross the river straight away. Instead, we thought about it, and we crossed too late. But you didn't die. You're still here. And so now what you get to do is be that lioness, that lion queen, lion king, for the people, for generations to come. We have to start thinking about what kind of planet we're creating, what kind of energy and society we're creating for our children to come. So the third thing that I want to discuss with you before we do the energy healing is, if you're an empath, you may struggle to know your purpose, to know where you fit in the world. You may be very good at certain things and have skills that other people don't, but you may not just know where your soul's mission lies and where your true path in life is meant to go. Well, I want to tell you something. I wouldn't worry about that at all, because what is needed right now is your presence on this planet. Your presence is needed. As an empath, your presence in the world amongst other people is the biggest gift that you could ever give to this planet. Okay? You don't have to sought after the most prestigious job or the most amazingly giving amount of money that you can give to charity, or whatever it is that you think you need to do in order to be worthy, in order to be good enough. You don't need to do those things. What you need to do is develop your presence. Is develop a sense of empowered knowing as an empath. Do the healing work. Do the hard work on yourself. Self-love, self-care, self-healing. And then, when you walk into a room, you are the biggest gift that you could give. Your presence is enough. It's always enough. So, I'll just finish this little pep talk together with you and say that choose courage and choose kindness, and be kind to yourself and others along this journey, and you will be victorious. So, I'm just going to give you a little spray. I'm just going to spray over here. Yeah, this is a great way to keep the mozzies away too. Okay, that's for you. Now, what we're going to do is breathe together. Okay? So, just want you to close your eyes. Take a nice deep breath in through your nose. And then out through the mouth. Good. I just want you to take a few more breaths whilst I just go over your energy body. Deep breath in through the nose. Feel yourself grounding into the earth. So, one of the biggest things that we have to learn to do as an empath is understanding when to put up our shields, to hold space for ourselves, hold people at arm's length. And the other thing we have to do is learn when to take down our shield. You have to discern which part of that stage you're in, okay? Are you in the stage of your world where you have to take more time for yourself? Where you have to maybe even take lots of solitude and rest and build up your energy space? Because sometimes that's really is what is required. Depends on where you are in your journey. But if you are in that space where you feel you need to take some time for yourself, I would encourage you to know that this is 100% what is needed for you, and it will aid your growth. Or you may be in a space where you've taken some time to get to know yourself, and you feel ready, you feel energized, you feel your aura has expanded and continues to expand and get bigger and bigger. And with this, you're ready to let people in more. But you don't let people in the same way as you used to when you were a child, where you're basically trying to help them, but you yourself are helpless. No, we don't do that anymore. We've learnt from that. It was a difficult time in our lives to try and help people whilst we're helpless. Instead, we want to help people from our empowered, empathic self. And the only way to do that is to be authentic, is to know your power, is to be empowered, because you have a right to be, and to share what love you already know resides in your heart. Okay? So I just want you to figure out right now what stage of your journey you're in. Are you needing more rest, more time alone? Are you needing to do some healing work on yourself? Or are you feeling ready to step into your empowered self, to share yourself with the world, to share your energy body, your empowered energy body, with others? So now we're just going to take some time to be silent and listen, be still. You may be in an in-between stage, in between what you would call a chrysalis. For me right now, I know that I don't need to spend too much time alone to recoup. I'm kind of just coming out of that stage, actually. I'm not quite ready to be the butterfly yet. Not quite ready to put my energy fully out there just for this moment right now. But I'm in a chrysalis, and this chrysalis is just getting me prepared, okay? So you may be in the third stage. And whatever it is, know that it's all divine timing. You're exactly where you need to be. And now is to let go of expectations. To let go of needing to be perfect. To let go of needing to control. Instead, we're going to breathe. We're going to allow the flow. We're going to allow the everything to be exactly what it is. So I want you to picture your earth chakra that is several inches below your feet. Picture this now. Send your awareness there and feel how the earth is sending up this energy through your feet, through your legs, through your knees, all the way up. And as it reaches your heart center, you feel how this energy begins to connect with your sky chakra. Your sky chakra is a few inches above your head. Okay? It's your divine connection to your source, to all that is true about who you are. And these two energies merge together. So, with the in-breath, picture your earth chakra filling up your whole body. With the out-breath, picture these two energies molding together. Okay? Creating this torsion field of a light energy body. We're building up your auric field. We're building up your energy. And this is all part of the healing. So breathe in through the feet. And pull down the energy from the sky. And hold it. So for today's energy healing, I'm just going to show you some final practices you can do. Okay, and doesn't matter what stage you're in. I would recommend that you do these auric energy body healing practices anytime that you're feeling low or stuck or sad or nervous or fearful, anytime before a social situation, for example. So what we're going to do is picture that you have some butterfly wings now, okay, and follow me. Send your hands up into the sky and release your butterfly wings. Okay? Again. Hands up. Release your butterfly wings. Now, picture the colour of your aura. I'm going to paint your aura with colours. What we're going to do is we're going to follow me. Reach out. So, it's a reverse butterfly wings effect. Okay? So instead you're pulling the energy in. Again. Pulling the energy in. So here we're sending the energy up and out, getting ready to unveil our wings. Okay. And the opposite is, once we've unfolded our wings, we are ready to paint and carry our auras with colours and vibrance and brightness and fill in the gaps with light. Yeah, any gaps that may be in your auric field, maybe you can sense into those with your breath. Just gonna send that up and, bring that in and out. So we go. So those are 2 butterfly wings that you can practice anytime you want to strengthen your aura and give yourself a moment to energetically heal any remaining fears, any remaining doubts that you may have in any given situation. It's all about the posture. It's all about being able to feel empowered in your body. And then we allow our thoughts to align with our highest resonance, which is understanding that we have a purpose here. And our purpose is to stay empowered. Because when we stay empowered, we have so much light and love to give. We are just learning now. So as I say, let go of expectations, let go of trying to be perfect. You're on a learning journey. Okay. Okay, I'm just gonna send some final healings into your aura, and I want you to breathe at the same time. Yes, very, very good. Just keep on coming back to that breath. hero's journey is what we're all on. And we are the ones that pave the way for the generations that are to come. But there's also many people that have paved this path for us. Yeah. And to those I wish to give thanks and gratitude for the people that have paved the way for us so that life can be that bit easier as an empath in a chaotic world. And so I wish you courage